It's been a bit. Firstly, though, let's just start with, hi. How's everyone doing? My little sauce packets. That's the first thing I could think of to do with, Zestina. I'm trying to... I just picked the name because Zesty is in so many of my gamer tags and other usernames and things. So I was like, ooh, okay, if I'm going to be doing a variety channel, and everything's going to be delicious and saucy and spicy and zesty. Excuse me, hiccup. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I've thought out all of the logistics. Well, let's get onward to our zesty, spicy, delicious content. I definitely want to talk about AOC getting arrested. That seems like an important political thing that has happened. Scoot you just a little bit closer. Oh, Waffles! Hi, girl. That's Waffles. She's the baby cat. And you can see. But let's jump into... not voting stuff, but yeah, what is going on with... there were a lot of arrests due to a pro-choice protest happening in DC, and that's all I really know. I just know that some actual politicians were arrested, and I definitely wanted to look at that. I grabbed a video of it too. Alright. And then for news source, I'm here on Common Dreams, which is an independent news organization that I found recently. They don't do ads or take money from corporate at all. They're like Wikipedia, like they're strictly run by donations, which is pretty cool. So I've glanced over this article a bit, and I've seen like some clips about the arrest happening, but I don't really know much more than that. Like, I don't really know why they were arrested, because they were protesting. That's kind of a big deal to arrest protesters. It happens, and it shouldn't be happening, because that's a protected speech. Good trouble. 17 House Democrats arrested protesting Roe reversal at the Supreme Court. So they were outside the Supreme Court building? Even though they arrested us, we won't stop our organizing, agitating, and legislating for justice, declared Rep. Cori Bush. And, oh, yeah, Serby? You think it's bullshit that they got arrested? Come here. What are you doing? Pupper distraction. What are you doing? You can't be growling. Mama's streaming. Mama's live. Thank you for your kisses. She's like under my chair. Alright, several members of Congress were among the demonstrators arrested outside the U.S. Supreme Court on Tuesday while protesting the right-wing justice's recent ruling against the constitutional right to abortion. Today I was arrested in civil disobedience, acting at the Supreme Court. Action at the Supreme Court to protest Roe v. Wade getting overturned and this assault on reproductive rights across the country. Rep. Ilhan Omar. Okay, so Ilhan Omar. Oh, so it was like the justice. Yeah, it was the justicedems that got arrested. So, God, jeez. My bad, because it's late. So, what happened after they got arrested? Did they just get escorted off? Because they're government officials. Did they get, like, arrested? Let me adjust my camera a little bit more again. Like, did they actually have to sit in jail, or did they just get escorted off the premises and then given, like, a ticket or something and sent home? Versus, like, other protesters were probably arrested and had to actually sit and have some kind of jail time, maybe. Our reproductive rights are under assault across the country, thanks to this extremist court with little regard for precedent or our basic rights. I will do whatever it takes, including putting my body on the line to protect our reproductive rights. And then Anna Lilia Mejia. Okay, Anna Lilia Mejia. I don't see very well, even with my glasses, so I just gotta squint. Gotta get right up in there. Co-executive director of the Center for Popular Democracy Action said that today the CPDA network and Democratic members of Congress sent a powerful message to Republican lawmakers and SCOTUS. We will not back down. Makes sense? So, U.S. Capitol Police confirmed in a tweet Tuesday that officers arrested 35 people? Jeez, including 17 members of Congress, for crowding, obstructing, or incommoding. When does a protest... Because you can do all kinds of things for protests. When... I don't see how those are good enough reasons that suddenly a protest is no longer... Like, you had to arrest them? You couldn't just move them to a different location? Me no likey. Me no likey this trample on my rights. Me no likey. Alright, other arrests include Rep. Alma Adams, North Carolina. Cori Bush. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I think that's the first... This is the first stream on live. I'm so sorry. I tried not to sneeze into the microphone. Oof, that's gonna be a bitch of an audio peak to deal with later for editing. Oof, sorry, future editor Zesty. Alright, Alma Adams of North Carolina, Cori Bush of Missouri, Catherine Clark of Massachusetts, Madeline Dean of Pennsylvania, Veronica Escobar of Texas. Are these all just House reps? It said 17 members of Congress. Are there any senators? Or is it just... Okay, Sarah Jacobs, California. Barbara Lee, California. Andy Levin, Michigan. Carolyn Maloney, New York. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, New York. Ayana. Names are important, so I like to say them correctly. Ayanna Presley? We will Google that in a bit. Or later. Massachusetts. Jan Schakowsky. Illinois. I'm not seeing any senators. Jackie Spear, California. Rashida Tlaib, Michigan? I should Google these names to make sure I'm pronouncing them correctly. Names are important. Pronouncing things correctly is important. It's either Nydia or Nydia. Velasquez, New York. Bonnie Watson, Coleman, New Jersey. I'm not seeing any senators. I'm pretty sure these are all House reps. Interesting. Senators too busy? Where's my man Bernie? Sorry. Alright, Supreme Court has been relentless. Yeah, we read that, didn't we? Or something similar. Reproductive freedom, bodily autonomy. We put our bodies on the line to defend abortion rights because the stakes in this fight could not be higher. Due to the cruelty and callousness of this court, millions of people now face insurmountable barriers to abortion and care and the health of our most vulnerable, especially our black, brown, low-income, disabled, indigenous, and LGBTQ plus siblings, is now further at risk. Yeah. You know, you always, like, we have the statistics, we have the numbers, like, abortions happen. Paper towel, because my nose. Abortions happen, it's just who gets access to them. They're just legislating that poorer people can't do it. They just want poorer people to have babies for a myriad of reasons. Okay, we won't use this. Curious. I'm grateful to all the advocates on the front lines of this fight who led us in a peaceful protest. Yeah. I want to know what happened to the other people, though, that got arrested. Because being arrested, isn't that kind of a big deal? Don't they usually take you downtown? Make you fill out some paperwork and stuff? Like an actual... They weren't detained. It says they were arrested. I need to know what happened to, you know, the other... out of 35 people. You know, the other half of them. Frontline who led us in peaceful protest today, and have been leading this movement for generations. Abortion rights are human rights, and we won't stop fighting until our policies and budgets reflect that fundamental truth. Chants at the demonstration included "Shut it down," referring to the High Court, and "What do we want? Freedom. When do we want it? Now." Lawmakers and others on the road were warned, "Cease and desist or you will be arrested." In the road. So they were in the street. What's this? It's warned and it's blue. It looks like a Twitter link. 24 members of Congress protested in front of the Supreme Court on choice police. "Cease and desist or you will be arrested."
Demonstration activity. Cease and desist or you will be arrested.
They're just in the road. I mean, that's not...
We're currently... May I have your attention, please? Be advised. We're currently participating in illegal demonstration activity. Cease and desist or you will be arrested.
I don't understand.
We're currently... May I have your attention, please? Be advised. We're currently participating in illegal demonstration activity. Cease and desist or you will be arrested.
Do it, fuckers. Do it. Arrest him. I don't... Arrests are about to begin. So they just someone was live tweeting. I don't... It's just like, it's a parade. A parade for rights. Bush, who on Monday introduced legislation to boost access to medication abortion, shared a photo of fellow squad members at the demonstration and vowed that even though they arrest us, we won't stop our organizing, agitating, and legislating for justice. Some of the participants invoked words of the late John Lewis, the civil rights leader who became a Democratic congressman and represented Georgia for over 3 decades, famously encouraged getting into good trouble when fighting against injustices. Yeah, good trouble. You know, getting just a little arrested.
We won't go back! 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 We won't go.
A little arrest as a treat. I mean, I would have much rather my politicians get arrested during a protest and, like, minor civil agitation than, fucking the pedophiles, the frickin' Matt Gateses of politicians, getting arrested for that shit. That's embarrassing. You put a pedophile in office. Damn. Get rid of them. Like, yeah. Arrest them. For different reasons. It's so exhausting. Do you ever... What's the term? It's literally called, like, news fatigue. If that makes sense. And it's gotten worse and worse, especially with technology. All of the constant social media feeds you news. In the middle of entertainment, you can get news played like an ad. In just trying to scroll and do something simple, just boom, more news, more. Even it feels like we get interrupted with news, even if it's not like a breaking news type of entry. Oh, hello again, Macabre. If I may ask, what were they officially charged with? Hello, how are you, by the way? That's the thing I can't figure out. It says here in the Common Dreams piece that... Where'd it go? It's up here somewhere. Where'd it go? Oh, and then how are you? I'm pretty good. Like I said, I mentioned a little bit before. I didn't stream this weekend, even though I said I would, because I got pretty caught up in doing some community outreach. Like, I'm going to be joining a union that's going to be working with community outreach, and then I'm going to be helping with Stephanie Gallardo's campaign. So I got busy this weekend, and I didn't have time to stream, so I will make it up this week, and I will stream extra. But that's the thing. It said that it was here. Here we go. For the crowding, obstructing, and incommoding. Like, at what point is a protest? You know, is a protest no longer a protest? You know, like quotes unquotes. In all of the videos and things I just went over now, it looks like they were just walking through the street with signs, which is pretty standard protest things, or like a parade, or like there was no calls for violence against the Supreme Court while they were outside of the building. I haven't heard about any other, you know, inciting incidents. It's literally just they were walking and then they were told, hey, this is illegal, go away. Yeah. Arrested today for civil disobedience. Yeah? How are we defining civil disobedience? Sounds like malarkey. It sounds like they just didn't want them to be outside of the Supreme Court building, you know? Which is crazy to me, because I don't think there should be off-limits places for people to protest. That's crazy. Because, I mean, the line between civil disobedience and a protest, they like to blur it, if that makes sense. I feel like it always gets... I don't like it. I don't like watching the blurring between, like, oh, it's a protest, and, like, oh, never mind, not allowed. Like, why? Were we too loud? And because the other thing is they were marching, they were moving on the road, so they didn't cut off an entire part of the road. I know that in a lot of places can be problematic if it's just literally the one road to get somewhere. But this is the whole ass Washington, D.C. and the whole ass Supreme Court area. There's other roads you can take, and also they didn't fully block the road. What the hell? But where was I at? Yeah, they talked about getting into good trouble, which I thought was cute. John Lewis, good trouble. But I want to look more. I'm hoping this article is going to touch more on, like, more unofficial charges, but right now it looks like it was just civil disobedience and that they were arrested, but I also can't find anything on if anyone is actually sitting in jail right now, because it looks like the 17, Justice Dems, looks like at some point they've been let go. Like, what did they do? They get a ticket? But then what about all the other people? There were 35 people arrested. So I'm also curious about what the poor regular citizens is happening with them. Alright. Protesting injustice in our country is as old as our democracy itself, and is a cornerstone of our history, a principle of our nation, and a faithful mechanism for the will of the people to be heard. Yeah. That's why in the face of unprecedented attacks on abortion access and reproductive justice, like the draconian laws and anti-women agenda that we're seeing from the Texas state legislature, accidentally over-highlighted, Governor Abbott, and the Supreme Court, I joined several of my colleagues in front of the highest court in the land to make good trouble. Yeah. Good. My arrest today for civil disobedience was a small act in the centuries-long battle to ensure that every woman has the freedom to make personal decisions with those they love and trust without politicians trying to control them. We stand on the shoulders of giants whose struggle against injustices everywhere lights the way forward. The fight didn't start here, and it's far from over. Those are nice quotes. I like those. 11. The only male lawmaker arrested. Oh. Really? Okay. Only is highlighted, so let's go there. Twitter. Looks like everything is going to a Twitter thread. It looks like a lot of people were live tweeting what was happening. And 11. Oh, yeah, he got grabbed. Oh, shit. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to protect abortion rights, even if it means getting arrested. I joined my Democratic Women's Caucus colleagues in a civil disobedience action outside of the Supreme Court, in a civil disobedience action. It's just a standard protest, my guy. Pretty shameful that Andy Levin was the only male member of Congress, there are many of them, to put his body on the line for abortion rights. But also, what a mensch? What's a mensch? Alright. No, yeah, I don't think any charges are going to stick for anyone, if I'm being honest. Like, the way they're blurring the line between this being a protest and then, like, outright civil disobedience, and it's not like there was any property damage and, like, straight up, and things get spicy and they turn into, like, a riot. No, like, nothing like that was happening. It was just people walking and shouting. Jeez. Up to good trouble. Yep. I'm still not seeing anything about what they were officially charged with. I think they're not getting charged with anything because they probably can't get anything to stick. They probably just arrested everyone and then couldn't get any charges to stick and then let everyone go. That's what I would put my money on. What about you, Macabre? That's crazy. Just leave them be. Jeez, opinion piece. Rep. Nikema Williams noted that July 17 marked the 2-year anniversary of Lewis's death. The congresswoman suggested that if her friend, mentor, and predecessor were still alive, he would be moved to act like he did throughout his entire life in response to the Supreme Court's cruel and damaging decision to strip more than half of the country of their rights to access abortion. Yeah, man, that's crazy. On Friday, Democrats in the House passed legislation to protect the rights to choose. Yeah, I appreciate when the House keeps passing things along. Stuff keeps dying in the Senate, though. We really need to focus on Senate races. like this election, and then in 2024. That's why I'm going to do some bits talking about, researching here for the Washington Senate, Federal Senate, because we got our little paperworks in the mail. Very fun. The House Democrats have approved the Women's Health Protection Act and Ensuring Access to Abortion Act. Neither bill is expected to get through the Senate due to the filibuster rule and obstruction by the GOP, as well as Senator Joe Manchin. Oh, I hate him. I hate him. He's just... Excuse me, I have a little hiccup. He's so annoying. He doesn't do anything. And he's one of those where I'm worried it's gonna be hard to primary. Manchin's area is still very moderate Dem, and Republican. Like, it's... Like, they barely got a moderate Dem in. And, the strategy is typically to just weed out the right, get in a moderate Dem, and then after a while get in someone more progressive, because in a lot of districts it's really hard to go just straight from like a Republican to a progressive. It's just completely opposite. People don't go for it because they're weenies. I don't know. But even with someone like Manchin trying to push for something more progressive, like a more progressive person, I don't know how it would fare. Not to say that they would then vote Republican again. God, I hope not. But they might just vote, like in the primaries, he's winning his primaries whenever someone more progressive goes up against him. I think since we might not be able to get rid of Manchin for a while, the strategy is going to have to be kicking out other moderates in other more progressive places, getting progressives to primary and win against others. Maloney highlighted that while overturning Roe was a long-time ambition of Republicans in the U.S. politics, they're not likely to stop there. I know. They did. They've mentioned that they don't want to stop there. They have mentioned other things that they want to do. The Republican Party and the right-wing extremists behind this decision are not pro-life, but pro-controlling the bodies of women, girls, and any person who can become pregnant, she said. Their ultimate goal is to institute a national ban on abortion, and we will not let them win. We will be back. That's it. No, yeah. Let me just open up a tab real quick about protesting versus civil disobedience, because I don't see how they broke any protest laws. Fuck, can I spell? Just fucking hell, I can't spell. Where is it up here? They have civil disobedience written up here. Haha. I'm terrible at spelling because my brain, I always like sound stuff out wrong, if that makes sense. So I always swap out letters for other letters. I'm not dyslexic or anything, I don't think. I've never been tested for it. But I am neurodivergent, so sometimes my brain will be like, hey, the E and the I and the ah, like all the sounds are similar. So, okay. Okay, that's an opinion piece on Jack Central. That's the Wikipedia for civil disobedience. A letter to the editor, Bakersfield, BC. I'm trying to find a decent... Plato Stanford. Yeah. If I go on, it already says on Wikipedia that the lines have been blurred a lot. Civil disobedience is the active, professed refusal of a citizen to obey certain laws, demands, orders, or commands of a government or any other authority. By some definitions, civil disobedience has to be non-violent to be called civil. Hence, civil disobedience is sometimes equated with peaceful protests or non-violent resistance. So is it literally just because the cops told them like 3 times to get off the street? So if they had moved to the sidewalk and they were marching on the sidewalk, would it have been okay? I don't know about that, my friends. So the minute a protest refuses to obey laws, demands, or orders of commands. So the minute a protest doesn't listen to a cop, they're like, boom, civil disobedience. I think bullshit. I call big bullshit. Big bullshit. Henry David Thoreau's essay of resistance to civil government. Civil disobedience. History. Yeah, no, I call big bullshit. Big bullshit. I think it's just another bullshit by the man. It's just cops. Alright, Thoreau's essay again. Thoreau explained his reasons for having refused to pay taxes as an act of protest against slavery and against the Mexican-American War. Yeah, that's a vibe. Ooh, big yawn. Employed civil disobedience to combat a range of legal measures and public practices that then prompted discriminations. So because the line has been blurred, and they're all becoming so I can't talk today, dude. Synonyms. I don't fucking. Ugh, it's been a day. My nose itches. Maybe it's because I'm so tired from stuff this weekend. So are they serving any jail time? Is anyone serving any jail time? Study.com. I don't know. I haven't been on study.com too much, but yeah, for teachers, for schools, it's academic. It's got a thing. Lesson, instructor. Okay, you want to protest. How should you go about it? In this lesson, we're going to examine civil resistance and civil disobedience and see how each has been used to communicate the will of the people. So is it not actually... I feel like this is a questionable, arrestable offense. That's so broad. Protesting is a time-honored way to show the government that the people oppose a political policy, action, law, or even the government itself. How should this be done? Oh, stop. Why'd you highlight that way? What the fuck? There have been many ways to answer this across history. The two big ones are civil resistance and civil disobedience. These are both actions of protest meant to demonstrate the will of the citizenry, but they are not the same. As it turns out, there are multiple ways to give the power to the people. Okay. Civil resistance is a broad term encompassing non-violent actions that demonstrate opposition to a policy, law, or government. The people are resisting something by protesting against it, generally in a non-violent way. Non-violent tactics associated with civil resistance include marches, demonstrations, and boycotts. That's what they did! They literally just marched down the street! Yeah, what the fuck? I don't think they did shit! Maybe they should sue them. They have the money. They're politicians, right? They can pool their resources together and sue the Washington, D.C. cops. You obstructed a lawful protest. We can think of countless examples of these, from the civil rights marches led by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. to the strikes against oppressive regimes of the Arab Spring, to the spread of political hashtags on Twitter that promotes resistance and protest. Civil resistance is almost always presented in a lawful action. Even if municipal codes like trespassing or loitering are broken, the intent of civil resistance is not to break the law. These kinds of protests will be defended by appealing to a higher moral or legal code, like a constitution or international treaty of rights. This is an important distinction. The sort of judicial argument that has been used many times to defend the rights of protesters arrested for conducting civil resistance. Yeah, so I think they did a this, but they got arrested for a this. So, civil disobedience. Civil disobedience, unlike civil resistance, is the act of intentionally breaking the law. The point of civil disobedience is a refusal to cooperate with unjust laws, policies, or government demands. You are not only breaking the law, you are doing so intentionally and as an act of protest. The same logic can be applied to school norms as well. By breaking from expectations about gender, race, or class, protesters can undermine the social norms that justify oppressive policies like segregation or denying women the right to vote. Yeah, no, what actual laws did... They didn't break any actual laws! Or are they counting that, like, the second the cops told them to get out of the road, and then they didn't? They will do any excuse to break up a protest. Any fucking excuse. And because of shit like this, that's why people don't feel heard. And then protests get bigger and bigger, and crazier, and then we light shit on fire, and now what? Get that insurance money. Actually, try not to light stuff on fire, kiddos. Do your best not to. You know? Not the go-to strategy, lighting stuff on fire. Unless they start it. If the cops start a fire, that means you can start a fire, right? That's... Lord. There's many examples of this in history as well. American author Henry David Thoreau coined the term civil disobedience as we know it, refused to pay his taxes. Yeah, they just mentioned that in the wiki. Because he did not support the Mexican-American War or slavery. Susan B. Anthony publicly went to a voting booth to cast a ballot, breaking the law that women weren't allowed to vote. And then in the civil rights movement, young African-American protesters sat at segregated lunch counters and refused to move, violating Jim Crow laws of the South. Yeah, they did sit-ins. Yeah. But again, those aren't... It's not violent. It's not... That should be allowed, too. Get fucked. Oh, to unlock the lesson, you must be a study.com member. That's why I don't go in here this much. Schooling pay law. In all three cases, the protesters were arrested, and that's kind of the point. The protester utilizing civil disobedience knowingly breaks the law and does so with the acknowledgement that they will be arrested for their actions. So they don't fight the arrest or the sentencing, and as a result... Oh, fucking highlight. Lord! Okay. I busted it. I busted the highlighter. Sentencing, and as a result, the prison sentence ends up becoming part of the protest. Many protesters employing this tactic use this time to build up media attention and thus gain public support. I mean, I guess that's kind of what's happening with them. I don't think they should have been arrested in the first place. Sounds like malarkey, and I don't think charges are going to come at it, and I'm really hoping that the other people who were arrested that are not government are going to be okay. Like, if... I almost want to check out on Twitter. But it doesn't... Yeah, today we marched. It's just marching. Okay, there's cops. The cops are the ones who blocked off the street. And since when is blocking the street... Streets get blocked off all the time for all kinds of things. Is it because they didn't have a permit to block off the street or whatever? So would it be okay if you get a permit to protest? Okay, so then at some point they sat down. So is this what got them arrested? I don't see... It was... I think it's malarkey. I think it's bullshit. That's in Spanish. That's in Spanish. That's in Spanish. Okay. Yeah. I don't think they're officially being charged with anything, and now I'm just angry. Now I'm just upset. Like, it's just... Let's try and hunt it. Let's hunt through these tweets for a bit. We honestly might not even find out right away, like, what's possibly even going to happen. Excuse me, it might not be... If any charges are brought against them, we might not see it for like a day or two. Down to stir up good trouble. Whew. Yawn. Okay, that tweet's just talking specifically about... Yeah, I'm not... Here we go again, Cori Bush. Supreme Court will not stop us, even though they arrested us. We won't stop organizing, agitate. That was quoted in the... Let's go to Cori Bush's Twitter. Oh, her memoir is coming out soon. Birthday... Extravaganza and grassroots fundraiser. I'm looking for... Here we go. I'm looking for this stuff. It's just the one tweet. Even though they arrested us. I think it's just... Okay, here it says being detained. Being detained is different than the actual arrest.
What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! If we don't get it, shut it down!
Start over. So when they sat in the road...
If we don't get it, shut it down! If we don't get it, shut it down! If we don't get it, shut it down! What do we want?
The dude with the tuba, though! What the hell?
What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now!
And there's a guy with a sax? Fuck yes. And a trumpet? Fuck yes. Brass musician protesters. So, they only arrested the people who sat on the ground and blocked the road. That was considered illegal enough to get arrested and be civil disobedience. They're not arresting all of these people hanging out on the side of the road. So that was the line. Hey, you sat in the road, you blocked traffic, we told you to move, you didn't, boom, now you're not following the law. Now it's arrestable civil disobedience. Are they just gonna fine them? If they get a fine, I hope politician homies pay the fine for the other people that got arrested, because 35 people were arrested and only 17 of them were politicians. 35 minus Yeah, 18. I figured it was, yeah, I was like, it's halvesies. I've been yawning. I don't have a brain to do math, okay? So the other 18 people better be okay. Or I will cry. And then we'll have to start a fucking GoFundMe. It's probably... I don't think there's really much more to say on this topic, though. It's literally just, hey, we walked around, and then cops got mad we were in the road, so we got arrested, but... that's it. I don't feel like anything else is going to happen. I mean, but like I said earlier, good for them, I guess. Get arrested. It's better to get arrested for a protest than being a pedophile like some other politicians. Gates. Excuse me. Ilhan Omar. Let's check out Ilhan's as well. She was arrested. That's a pinned tweet. Okay, and so at some point they sat down on the grass and that was okay? First time doing a civil disobedience action with my sister. Ah. So they pissed him off on purpose to get arrested. Maybe? That's kind of like what we were reading earlier in thestudy.com when it was talking about the difference between them, is that oftentimes a civil disobedience will be done and you're fully aware you'll get in trouble for it and arrested, much like people who broke voting, women who broke voting legislation, and people who fought segregation. Voting isn't enough. Yeah, voting is the first step. I keep harping on people about voting, but it doesn't stop there. Voting is the least. I have said many times, voting is the least you should do. The least. I'm not really seeing... So with my colleagues... Oh, that's the unionization. I think I want to go into that maybe like tomorrow. Another stream. I think I'll stream maybe tomorrow afternoon or something though, because in the evening I'm planning on doing some things for the Gallardo campaign, so I won't be streaming in the evening. My nose. You know, my nose has been kind of runny because I had like a spicy wrap earlier with like eggs and spinach and stuff. It wasn't even that spicy, like my body just decided that this sauce that I bought at the farmer's market... Okay, that one's unused. This one's used. Hi, Sir B. What are you doing? Ooh, big stretch for a little dog. You good down there? I'm barking up a storm earlier. Oh, double, double, double. If you were more awake, I could put you on camera. Huh. Yeah, I don't want to talk about this anymore, to be honest. Like, I don't... Oh, we'll watch another video. How about that? We'll watch this video, and then... She looks pissed. She looks pissed she's getting arrested. We'll watch a video on it, and then we'll move on, because I feel like I'm repeating myself at this point, trying to talk about this. Oh, let me turn down that volume so you guys don't get your ears blasted.
We won't go back! 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 We won't go back!
We are gathered here today because many of us have never been arrested for anything. But this is something that we all care deeply about. We will do whatever is necessary to protect people and their bodies. And this is one of the acts that we will engage in to make sure that those who have the ability to have control over their bodies and have historically will be able to do so in the future.
So they planned it. They planned to get arrested. Cool. Interesting. It was literally what StudyGot.com was saying, like doing illegal things to push back against the law. I mean, okay. At least 16 members of Congress were arrested by the Capitol Police on Tuesday for blocking traffic outside the Supreme Court during an abortion rights demonstration. That's all they're saying. Just get up on the sidewalk. Get up on the sidewalk. The lawmakers were expected to be fined and released. What about the other people that got arrested?
If you're a Washington...
Okay. I mean, it's a strategy. I will give it to them. It's a strategy. It's not... It's not the worst strategy. Maybe not the best either. I kind of wish, while doing that, if they would have brought attention to, like, hey, the House is doing stuff. It's your senators that keep blocking shit. Let's come up with a voting strategy against the senators. Like, maybe that would have been a little better. But I definitely think there's gonna need to be a follow-up on the other folks that got arrested. If everyone was just getting fined and released, I'm worried about their fine, if they can pay it or not. It's a little worrisome. Maybe we can just Google it real quick. Maybe we'll just Google real quick, like, to the others. Wait, how would I even Google it? What happened to the others arrested? Oh my god, I can't fucking spell. Arrested. Would it just be at today's protest? Shit, my idea was to Google it and I don't even know what to fucking Google. There's arrested with Congress today. I don't know. That's a few keywords. We'll see what pops up. What do we want to do? USA Today. This one looks like this is talking about how it was 35 people. I want to know what happened to the other people. The other 18. Come on. Give me an answer. 35 people, 17 members of Congress. Okay, Capitol Police arrested demonstrators for blocking traffic on 1st Street in Washington after giving our standard 3 warnings, according to the statement. Yeah? And? They did not... Okay. The total includes people arrested for crowding, obstructing. Come out. Yeah, but what happened to everyone? The Congress members were just fined and let go. What happened to the other people? Do not provide the names of those arrested when asked for comment. Refer to USA Today's original statement posted on Twitter. We encourage the press to reach out to a member's office for any comments about a member of Congress. I don't give a... Oops. Didn't mean to click it like that. Nope. Nope. What the fuck is all these ads? Go away. I don't care. I don't care about the Congress people anymore. I want to know what happened to everyone else. How much of an impact do you think yesterday's demonstration will have in the coming months? The thing is, they didn't bring up anything, like, while, from looking what it said on, like, study.com, you do things like this, yes, to bring attention, but all they did was bring attention to, hey, we got arrested and we're mad about the Roe v. Wade overturn, but there was no other talk about, hey, we're trying to codify things. Everything's getting held up in the Senate. We need to come up with a battle plan to make the Senate work because it doesn't work right now because everything's getting obstructed by Republican senators or, like, fucking Manchin and the cinemas and all these bitches that don't do nothing. So, honestly, this might be pretty forgettable. It's coming across as just like, ooh, look at us, we got arrested, we're so mad. And it seems like it was a planned civil disobedience. So yeah, they went into this planning on getting arrested. But then, I'm not seeing more of a plan outside of getting arrested, which just sucks. What about you? How does it make you feel, Macabre? You feel like this was helpful? Because I don't care about what they have to say. I care about the other 18 people that got arrested. I'm pretty forgettable. An interesting take. LOL. Yeah, like, it's a strategy. Shoo, it's a plan. I don't know if it was a good one. I feel like they could have gone about it better if you really wanted to. Oh, whoa, wait a second. What is this? Retweeted about her arrest. A $50 fine? Is that it? A $50 fine? What the fuck? Andy Levin was taken into custody. I know. I don't care about the politicians anymore. I want to know about the regular folk that got arrested. Is their fine also $50? Who's gonna be paying for that? These are regular ass people. Why should they? You know, in the Meet the Robinsons, when the T-Rex is like, I think this was a plan, but not a very good plan, not very thought out. That's how I feel. That is genuinely, I feel like if they wanted to bring attention to this in this way, if they had just done a little bit more. Because, yeah, all they're saying is, yeah, we're angry about Roe v. Wade. We get it. Everyone's angry about Roe v. Wade. But what's the plan to deal with it? Are there plans to codify? Are there plans to codify other things? We saw that the House passed things to codify other rights, but everything's dying in the Senate. How do we fix the Senate? Make a plan for that, motherfuckers. I feel like we're not going to get answers. You know what? Maybe that's a good segue to talk about the fucking Senate. Maybe that's what we'll do. That's it. Boom. Look at me. Great transition. Boom. Let's just talk about Senate stuff.